Hello friends. Welcome to our channel Read Great Minds. Today's audiobook is The Wealth Blueprint. Wealth isn't just about money. It's about freedom. The freedom to wake up each day and choose how you spend your time. The freedom to provide for your loved ones without worry. The freedom to create a legacy that outlives you. Yet, for many people, wealth feels like a distant dream, something reserved for the lucky few. But here's the truth. Lasting wealth isn't built by luck. It's built by principles, discipline, and a clear plan that anyone can follow. Most people spend their lives chasing money without truly understanding how wealth works. They work hard, but they stay stuck in cycles of debt, fear, and scarcity. This audiobook is here to change that. In this audiobook, we will uncover the timeless truths of wealth creation. Principles that have built empires, transformed families, and created freedom for generations. You will learn how to shift your mindset, grow your income, invest wisely, and protect what you've built. But this isn't just about you. It's about creating something bigger, a foundation that future generations can stand on. Imagine knowing that your children and their children will not just inherit money, but the knowledge and values to keep that wealth alive. This journey will challenge you, inspire you, and push you to take bold action. So listen carefully, because this blueprint can change the way you think, earn, and build. If you follow the blueprint, you won't just build wealth, you'll build a legacy. Before we start this journey that upgrade your mindset and your life, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Read Great Minds. Take a deep breath. Open your mind. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Break free from the scarcity trap. Everything starts in the mind. Before you can build lasting wealth, you have to confront the invisible walls that hold you back. For most people, those walls are made of scarcity thinking. It's the belief that there's never enough. Not enough money, not enough opportunity, not enough luck to go around. Maybe you felt it before. That sinking feeling when a bill comes due and you think, how am I going to make it this time? Or that quiet resentment when you see someone living the life you've always wanted, and deep down you whisper to yourself, people like me just don't get that kind of success. This mindset doesn't just limit you, it traps you. It makes you play small, settle for less, and sabotage opportunities before they even arrive. Here's the truth. Most people never hear. Wealth is not a limited pie where someone else's slice means there's less for you. Wealth is created. It grows through ideas, action, and courage. The world is filled with resources, but you can't see them if you believe they don't exist. Scarcity thinking often comes from our upbringing. Maybe you grew up hearing phrases like money doesn't grow on trees, or we can't afford that. These words seem harmless, but over time they become beliefs that guide every decision you make. If you've been carrying those beliefs for years, it's no wonder wealth feels out of reach. But here's the good news. Beliefs can be changed. The first step is awareness. Start noticing your thoughts about money. When you feel fear or jealousy, pause and ask, is this coming from a scarcity mindset? The moment you recognize it, you take back your power. Then replace those thoughts with ones rooted in abundance. Instead of saying, I'll never afford that, try, how can I create the income to afford that? It may seem simple, but that tiny shift opens doors you didn't know were there. Scarcity also shows up in the people you surround yourself with. If everyone around you complains about how hard life is and how nothing ever changes, it's easy to adopt the same story. But when you spend time with people who think big, dream big, and act boldly, their energy will challenge you to rise higher. Breaking free from the scarcity trap isn't a one-time event. It's a daily practice. Every time fear creeps in, you have a choice. To fall back into old patterns or to rise above them. Choose abundance. Choose to believe that there's more than enough wealth, opportunity, and success for you and everyone else. When you change the way you think, you change the way you act. And when you change the way you act, you change your results. This is where the journey begins. Not with money in your hands, but with a vision in your mind. Because if you can't see abundance inside yourself, you'll never create it outside yourself. Chapter 2. Define what wealth means to you. Before you can build wealth that lasts, you have to know exactly what you're building. This may sound obvious, But you'd be surprised how many people chase money without ever asking themselves a simple question. What does wealth really mean to me? For some, wealth is a number. $1 million in the bank, a paid-off house, or a certain amount of passive income each month. For others, it's about freedom. The ability to work when you want, travel where you want, and take care of the people you love without stress. And for some, wealth means impact. Funding causes they care about, or leaving behind a legacy that improves lives long after they're gone. Here's the thing. If you don't define wealth for yourself, the world will do it for you. You'll end up chasing someone else's version of success. The big house, the fancy car, the endless grind, only to realize later that it never made you truly happy. This is why so many people achieve financial success, but still feel empty inside. They climb the ladder only to discover it was leaning against the wrong wall. So take a moment to think deeply about what wealth looks like for you. Not just today, but 5, 10, even 20 years from now. Picture your ideal life in vivid detail. Where do you live? Who are you surrounded by? How do you spend your mornings, your evenings, your free time? Don't just focus on the stuff. Focus on the feelings. Does your version of wealth make you feel peaceful, excited, fulfilled? This step is more powerful than most people realize. When you have a clear vision, every decision becomes easier. Opportunities that don't align with your definition of wealth are easy to say no to, and the right opportunities practically jump out at you. Without that clarity, you'll drift from one thing to another. Always busy, but never truly moving forward. To help you get clear, ask yourself these 3 questions. First, what does wealth allow me to do that I can't do right now? Maybe it's retiring your parents, sending your kids to the best schools, or finally starting that business you've been dreaming about. Second, what kind of person do I need to become to create and maintain this wealth? Wealth isn't just about having more money. It's about growing into the kind of person who can handle it responsibly. And third, what values will guide me as I build wealth? Money without values can be destructive. Knowing what matters most to you will keep you grounded when challenges come. Here's an important truth. Your vision doesn't have to look like anyone else's. Maybe you don't care about private jets or giant mansions. Maybe your version of wealth is a cozy home by the lake, a debt-free life, and the freedom to work on projects you love. That's perfectly fine. In fact, it's better than fine. It's authentic. The clearer you are, the more powerful you become. Clarity turns vague wishes into specific targets. Think about an archer aiming at a bullseye. Without a clear target, they're just shooting arrows into the air. But when the target is sharp and defined, every shot has purpose. Your definition of wealth is that target. Once you have that vision, write it down. Don't keep it in your head. Put it somewhere you'll see every day, on your phone, your wall, your journal. Let it remind you why you're doing the work, especially on days when progress feels slow. Defining wealth also helps you avoid one of the biggest traps, comparison. It's easy to look at someone else's life and feel like you're behind. But if you've done the work to define what wealth means to you, you'll know whether their version of success even matters. Someone else's goal might be meaningless to you, and that's okay. You're running your own race. Remember, wealth is more than numbers. It's a lifestyle, a feeling, and a legacy. If you skip this step, no amount of money will ever feel like enough. But when you get it right, every dollar you earn, every habit you build, every choice you make will move you closer to a future that truly fulfills you. So, pause here and get clear. Don't rush this part. The foundation you set today will determine the strength of everything you build tomorrow. Wealth without purpose is empty. But wealth built on a clear vision, that's unstoppable. That's the kind of wealth that lasts for generations. Chapter 3. Build the habits that attract wealth. Wealth doesn't show up overnight. It doesn't appear because of one big decision or a single lucky break. Wealth is built piece by piece, day by day, through the small, consistent actions you take. If you want to create wealth that lasts for generations, you have to build habits that naturally attract it into your life. Here's the truth. Habits are stronger than willpower. You can't rely on motivation alone. Motivation fades, but habits keep you moving even when you don't feel like it. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't have to remind yourself to do it. It's automatic. Imagine if saving, investing, and learning about money became just as automatic. That's how wealth is built. The first habit you need is paying yourself first. Most people do the opposite. They pay their bills, spend on wants, and if there's anything left over, they save it. But here's the problem. There's almost never anything left. Paying yourself first means setting aside a portion of your income before you do anything else. Even if it's small at first, this simple act sends a powerful message. Building wealth is my priority. Over time, this habit creates a growing safety net and a sense of control over your future. The second habit is tracking your money. You can't improve what you don't measure. Many people avoid looking at their finances because it feels uncomfortable. But clarity is power. Know where every dollar goes. When you start tracking, you'll quickly see where money leaks are happening. Those leaks are opportunities. Every unnecessary expense you cut is money that can be redirected toward building wealth. The third habit is continuous learning. Wealthy people are lifelong students. They read books, listen to audiobooks, take courses, and seek mentors. They know that the more they learn, the more they earn. Think of knowledge as a compounding investment. The sooner you start, the greater the returns over time. Make learning about money, business, and personal growth a daily practice, even if it's just 15 minutes a day. Another crucial habit is delayed gratification. In today's world, it's easy to want everything now. The newest phone, the best clothes, the fancy car. But those instant pleasures often come at the expense of your future. Delayed gratification doesn't mean never enjoying life. It means making thoughtful decisions. Understanding that saying no today creates the ability to say yes to something much greater tomorrow. This single habit separates those who stay stuck from those who build lasting wealth. Equally important is the habit of networking with intention. The people you surround yourself with either pull you forward or hold you back. Make it a habit to spend time with people who inspire you, challenge you, and share your goals. These relationships can open doors to opportunities you would never find on your own. Now, here's something many people overlook. Habits work best when tied to identity. Don't just say, "I'm trying to save money." Instead, declare, "I am a person who builds wealth." When your habits are connected to who you believe you are, they become much harder to break. Every time you make a good financial choice, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. Start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire life in 1 week. Pick one habit and master it. Maybe it's setting aside a certain amount of money every payday. Maybe it's reading 10 pages of a wealth-building book each night. Once that habit feels natural, add another. Over time, these small actions will stack together, creating massive results. Remember, habits don't just create wealth, they create peace of mind. When you've built solid financial routines, you no longer live in constant stress about money. You move through life with confidence, knowing you're on track, no matter what happens in the economy or the world. Wealth isn't built in bursts of effort. It's built in the quiet, consistent choices you make when no one's watching. So decide today to create habits that pull wealth toward you instead of pushing it away. Because when you change your habits, you don't just change your finances. You change your entire future. Chapter 4. Master the game of money. Money is like a game. And whether you realize it or not, you're already playing. The problem is most people are playing without ever learning the rules. Imagine trying to play a sport you don't understand. You'd run around aimlessly, make random moves, and lose over and over again. Not because you weren't trying, but because you didn't know how to win. That's how most people live their financial lives. They work hard, they hustle, they save a little here and there. But deep down, they're frustrated because they don't understand the bigger picture. If you want to create wealth that lasts for generations, you must learn to master the game of money. This isn't about becoming obsessed with dollars and cents. It's about understanding how money works so you can make it work for you. When you understand the rules, you stop being a pawn and start playing like a strategist. The first rule of the game is cash flow. Wealth isn't just about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep and where it goes. Many people confuse a high income with wealth. You can make $1 million a year and still be broke if every penny is going out as fast as it comes in. Start by getting crystal clear about your inflows and outflows. This means knowing exactly what comes in each month and exactly what goes out. Think of this as your scoreboard. If you don't know the score, you don't know if you're winning or losing. The second rule is spending with intention. Money is a tool. When used wisely, it builds freedom and security. When used carelessly, it creates chaos and stress. Before every purchase, ask yourself, does this move me closer to my vision of wealth or farther away? That single question can save you years of regret. This doesn't mean you never spend on fun things. It means you spend with purpose instead of impulse. The third rule is understanding assets and liabilities. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. It sounds simple, yet most people get this completely backward. They call their car an asset when it's actually draining their finances every month. True wealth builders focus on acquiring assets. Investments, businesses, real estate, intellectual property, things that generate income even while you sleep. At the same time, they minimize liabilities, or at least ensure their liabilities are working toward a greater goal, like a mortgage on a rental property that produces cash flow. The fourth rule is avoid the debt trap. Debt can be a tool, but for most people it's a trap. Credit card debt, payday loans, high-interest borrowing. These are like quicksand pulling you down. If you're carrying debt, make eliminating it a priority. Imagine how much faster you could build wealth if your money wasn't constantly being siphoned away to pay interest. The fifth rule is leverage time. Wealth grows through the power of compounding. Small, consistent actions that build on each other over time. The earlier you start investing, the less you need to do later. Think of it like planting a tree. The best time to plant was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. Even if you start small, you're setting yourself up for exponential growth in the future. Finally, the sixth rule is emotions are your biggest opponent. Money decisions are often driven by fear or greed. Fear makes you hoard money and miss opportunities. Greed makes you take reckless risks. To win this game, you must stay calm, disciplined, and focused. Stick to your plan no matter what's happening in the news or the economy. When you understand and apply these rules, you move from being reactive to being proactive. You stop merely surviving and start thriving. You stop letting money control you and start taking control of money. Remember this. Money is neutral. It's neither good nor bad. It's simply a magnifier. In the hands of someone with discipline and vision, it becomes a force for freedom and legacy. In the hands of someone careless, it becomes a source of stress and destruction. If you want to build generational wealth, don't just work hard for money. Learn how to play the game wisely. Because once you master the game of money, you'll realize you were never just playing for yourself. You were playing for your family, your future, and the generations to come. That's when the game truly becomes worth winning. Chapter 5. Multiply your income streams. If you want to build wealth that truly lasts, you can't rely on a single source of income. Depending on one paycheck or one business is like balancing on a tightrope. One slip, one unexpected event, and everything can come crashing down. True financial freedom comes when you have multiple streams of income flowing steadily into your life, like rivers feeding a mighty ocean. The more streams you create, the more secure and abundant your financial future becomes. Think about it this way. If you only have one income source and it dries up, you're instantly in crisis mode. But if you have 3, 4, or 5 streams, losing one might sting, but it won't sink you. This is why wealthy families have been able to maintain their wealth for generations. They've built systems where money comes in from many directions, not just one. The first step is to understand the two main types of income, active and passive. Active income is what most people are familiar with. You trade your time and skills for money, a salary, freelance work, or running a business where you're heavily involved. There's nothing wrong with active income, but it has a limit. You only have so many hours in a day. Passive income, on the other hand, is money that flows whether you're working or not. It's the rent from a property you own, royalties from a book or product you created, dividends from investments, or revenue from an online business that runs while you sleep. Passive income is the key to true freedom because it's not tied to your time. Imagine waking up in the morning and knowing that money was deposited into your account while you were resting. That's the kind of system that changes lives. But here's the thing. You don't have to choose between active and passive. In fact, the best wealth builders use their active income to create passive income. They take a portion of what they earn and invest it in assets that generate more income. Over time, those assets grow, and eventually the passive streams can surpass the active ones. So, how do you start creating multiple streams? Begin with what you already know. Look at your skills, experiences, and passions. Can you turn any of them into a side business or a service you can offer? Maybe you're good at teaching. Could you create a course or coach others? Maybe you have a creative talent. Could you turn it into digital products or licensing opportunities? The first additional stream often comes from something you already do well. Next, explore investing. Even small amounts can grow into significant streams over time if you're consistent. This could mean investing in stocks that pay dividends, buying real estate that produces rental income, or starting a business that can eventually run without you. The key is to think long-term and focus on building assets that will continue to generate income year after year. One of the most powerful ways to create multiple streams is to embrace the digital world. In today's economy, you don't need a massive company or huge resources to reach people. You can create an online store, launch a subscription service, or even build a following that you later monetize through content or products. The internet has leveled the playing field for wealth creation like never before. Now, a word of caution. Don't try to build 10 streams at once. That's a recipe for overwhelm and failure. Start with one. Focus on it until it's running smoothly, then add another. Think of it like building a house. You wouldn't try to lay all the walls at the same time. You start with one foundation, build it solid, and then expand as you grow. Remember that each new stream doesn't just add money. It adds security and options. With multiple streams, you're no longer at the mercy of a single employer, client, or market trend. You gain the power to make choices based on what you want, not just what you need. The ultimate goal is to create a flow of income so steady and diverse that it feels like a living ecosystem, constantly replenishing itself. That's how you protect your wealth and ensure it continues to grow even when life throws surprises your way. When you have multiple streams of income, you don't just survive financial storms. You thrive through them. And as those streams flow into the lives of your children and their children, you create not just wealth, but a legacy of independence and strength that will stand for generations. This is the path to lasting freedom. Not one river, but many, flowing toward the future you're building. Chapter 6. Invest for the long game. Building wealth isn't about getting rich quick. It's about building a solid foundation that will grow stronger year after year, decade after decade. If you want to create wealth that lasts for generations, you must think like a long-term investor, not a short-term gambler. And here's the truth. The sooner you start thinking long-term, the faster you'll see your wealth grow. Not because of luck, but because of the power of time. Most people approach investing the wrong way. They chase trends, get excited about the latest hot stock, or panic when the market dips. Their emotions drive their decisions, and that almost always leads to regret. Wealthy people play a completely different game. They think in decades, not days. They understand that real wealth is built slowly, steadily, and intentionally. The most powerful force in long-term investing is compound growth. Think of compounding as a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's small and seems like it's barely moving. But as it rolls, it gathers more snow, grows larger, and picks up speed. Over time, it becomes unstoppable. That's what happens when your investments earn returns, and those returns are reinvested to earn even more. Given enough time, compounding can turn small, consistent contributions into massive wealth. Here's the key. You have to start now, no matter how small. Many people delay investing because they think they don't have enough money to make it worthwhile. But waiting is the most expensive decision you can make. Even a small amount invested today has the potential to grow far more than a larger amount invested years from now. Time is your greatest ally. Don't waste it. When you invest for the long game, you focus on assets that grow over time. These include stocks, index funds, mutual funds, real estate, and even businesses. Each has its own risks and rewards, but the common thread is growth. You're not looking for a quick flip. You're looking for consistent, steady appreciation. Diversification is another key principle. Imagine putting all your eggs in one basket and then dropping that basket. That's what happens when you bet everything on one investment. Diversification spreads your risk across different types of assets so that if one area struggles, the others can balance it out. It's like having multiple pillars holding up your financial house. If one cracks, the structure still stands. Patience is your secret weapon. There will be times when markets fall, when fear is everywhere, and when it feels like your wealth is slipping away. This is when most people panic and sell. But long-term investors stay calm. They understand that downturns are temporary and often create the best opportunities to buy at a discount. History has shown again and again that markets recover, and those who stay the course are the ones who win. Another essential part of long-term investing is reinvesting your gains. When your investments produce profits, whether through dividends, interest, or rent, don't rush to spend them. Put them back to work. This accelerates the compounding effect and helps your wealth grow exponentially. It's like adding fuel to a fire. The more you add, the brighter and hotter it burns. You should also have a clear investment strategy. Random investing leads to random results. Decide what percentage of your money will go into different asset types and stick to that plan. For example, you might allocate a portion to stocks for growth, another to bonds for stability, and some to real estate for cash flow. Your exact mix will depend on your goals, risk tolerance, and timeline. But having a plan keeps you focused and disciplined. Finally, remember that investing isn't just about you. It's about the generations that will come after you. When you think long-term, you start building a legacy. Imagine leaving behind not only wealth, but also the wisdom and systems that allow your children and grandchildren to keep growing that wealth. This is how families create generational prosperity. The long game isn't glamorous. It requires patience, discipline, and faith in the process. But while others are scrambling for quick wins, you'll be steadily building something that lasts. One day you'll look back and realize that every decision, every dollar, and every moment of patience has created a future you once only dreamed of. That's the reward of long-term investing. Not just wealth, but freedom, security, and a legacy that endures. Chapter 7. Turn skills into assets. Money can be taken away. Jobs can disappear. Markets can crash. But there's one thing no one can ever take from you: your skills, the abilities you develop, the knowledge you acquire, and the expertise you build are some of the most powerful wealth-building tools you'll ever have. When you learn how to turn those skills into assets, you stop depending on outside circumstances and start creating your own opportunities. Think about it for a moment. Every great fortune began with someone using a skill to solve a problem. Whether it was a product, a service, or an idea, it all started with the question, what can I do well? And how can I use it to create value for others? Wealth always flows toward value. The more valuable your skills, the more people are willing to pay for them. The problem is many people underestimate their own abilities. They think I'm just average or I don't have anything special to offer. But the truth is you already have skills. You just might not recognize them yet. Maybe you're good at communication, organizing chaos, fixing things, writing, teaching, or leading. These are all skills that can be sharpened and monetized. Start by identifying your core skills. Ask yourself, what do people consistently ask me for help with? What comes naturally to me that others struggle with? What activities make me lose track of time because I enjoy them so much? These clues point to areas where your natural abilities intersect with market demand. That intersection is where your wealth-building potential lies. Once you've identified your skills, the next step is to develop them into mastery. Average skills create average results. Wealth is built when you become exceptional at what you do. This doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent practice and learning, you can elevate any skill to a high level. Read books, take courses, find mentors, and most importantly, apply what you learn. Every hour you invest in improving your skills is like depositing money into a bank account that will pay you for the rest of your life. But don't stop at development. Monetize your skills. This is where the transformation happens. For example, if you have a skill for writing, you could offer freelance services, create a blog that generates ad revenue, or write a book that brings royalties. If you're skilled in teaching, You could launch an online course or coaching program. If you have a talent for fixing problems, you could start a consulting business. The opportunities are endless when you think creatively. The beauty of turning skills into assets is that they can generate multiple streams of income. One skill can lead to several different revenue sources. Take the skill of public speaking. You could get paid for live events, create a video course, write a book, and even offer one-on-one coaching, all from the same core ability. That's how you create leverage. Here's something important to remember. The world is constantly changing. Skills that were valuable 10 years ago might be outdated today. That's why you must commit to continuous growth. Stay curious, stay relevant, keep learning and adapting so that your skills never lose their value. The more adaptable you are, the more secure your financial future becomes. Turning skills into assets also builds confidence. When you know you have abilities that can create income anytime, anywhere, you stop living in fear of losing a job or relying on someone else to provide for you. You become independent. You become unstoppable. That confidence is a form of wealth all on its own. Even more powerful skills can be passed down. When you teach your children or loved ones the skills you've mastered, you're giving them something far more valuable than money. You're giving them the ability to create their own wealth. That's how legacies are built, not just through inherited assets, but through inherited knowledge and abilities. So, take a hard look at your life. Don't just ask how much money you're making. Ask what skills you're building. Because money comes and goes, but skills compound. The more you develop them, the more they pay you back year after year, generation after generation. When you focus on turning skills into assets, you'll never be at the mercy of the economy, your boss, or anyone else. You'll carry your wealth with you wherever you go. And when challenges arise, you won't just survive. You'll thrive because you've built the most powerful form of wealth there is, the ability to create value out of thin air. That is the ultimate asset. Chapter 8. Protect your wealth before you lose it. Building wealth takes years of effort, discipline, and sacrifice. Losing it, on the other hand, can happen in a heartbeat. A single bad decision, a crisis you didn't see coming, or simply trusting the wrong person can undo everything you've worked for. That's why protecting your wealth is just as important as creating it. Think of it like building a house. You wouldn't spend years constructing your dream home and then leave the doors unlocked and the windows wide open. You'd protect it. Your wealth deserves the same level of care. Many people focus entirely on making money, but never on keeping it safe. They hustle, they invest, they grow their income, and then one unexpected event wipes it all away. The truth is, wealth doesn't just grow by adding to it. It grows by defending it against loss. And here's the part most people overlook. Protection isn't about fear. It's about being prepared. It's about creating a safety net so you can move forward with confidence instead of constantly looking over your shoulder. The first step in protecting your wealth is building an emergency fund. Life is unpredictable. Jobs are lost. Businesses face downturns. Medical bills appear out of nowhere. If you don't have a financial cushion, you'll be forced to dip into investments or take on debt when these challenges arise. Aim to set aside at least 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses in a safe, easily accessible account. It may not be exciting, but it's one of the smartest moves you'll ever make. Next, consider insurance as a shield, not an expense. Many people see insurance as a waste of money until disaster strikes. The right insurance policies can protect you from financial devastation. This includes health insurance, life insurance, disability insurance, and even business or property coverage if you own valuable assets. You hope you'll never need it, but if you do, it can save you and your family from total financial ruin. Another essential layer of protection is diversifying your assets. Never put all your wealth in one place. Imagine investing every dollar into a single stock or relying on one business for all your income. If that one thing fails, everything collapses. Spread your investments across different types of assets, stocks, real estate, businesses, cash reserves. Diversification won't guarantee profits, but it will greatly reduce the risk of catastrophic loss. You also need to protect yourself from people. Sadly, wealth can attract the wrong kind of attention. Scammers, dishonest partners, Even friends or relatives with bad intentions may try to take advantage of you. Be careful who you trust with your financial information. Work only with reputable professionals and never make big decisions without fully understanding them. Remember, it's your responsibility to guard what you've built. One often overlooked strategy is legal protection. If you have significant assets, consult with an attorney about structures like trusts, wills, or limited liability companies. These tools can shield your wealth from lawsuits, reduce taxes, and ensure that your assets are passed down smoothly to the next generation. Without proper legal planning, much of your hard-earned wealth could end up in the hands of courts, creditors, or even the government. It's also vital to protect your mindset. Fear and greed are two of the biggest threats to wealth. Fear can cause you to hoard money and miss out on opportunities. Greed can push you into risky decisions that lead to massive losses. Stay balanced. Make decisions based on logic and long-term vision, not emotions or peer pressure. Finally, don't forget to update your protection as you grow. The strategies that work when you're starting out may not be enough once your wealth reaches new levels. As your financial situation evolves, regularly review your plans, policies, and systems to ensure they're still strong enough to protect what you've built. Think of protecting your wealth as building a fortress. The stronger your walls, the more confidently you can expand your empire. Without protection, every new dollar you earn is like pouring water into a leaky bucket. It slips away before you ever get to enjoy the benefits. You've worked too hard to let that happen. So, take the time now to secure your wealth. Build your emergency fund. Get the right insurance. Diversify. Guard yourself against fraud and bad decisions. Put legal protections in place. When you do this, you create a stable foundation for everything you've built and everything you're still going to build. Remember, wealth isn't just about making money. It's about keeping it and ensuring it grows safely. Because when your wealth is protected, you can focus on creating more without fear. And that's how you not only achieve financial freedom, but preserve it for generations to come. Chapter 9. Eliminate debt and bad financial patterns. Debt is one of the greatest enemies of wealth. It sneaks in quietly, often disguised as something helpful or harmless. And before you know it, it has wrapped its chains around you. Credit cards, personal loans, payday advances, these things promise freedom and convenience, but in reality, they steal your future. If you want to create wealth that lasts, you must eliminate debt and break free from the bad financial patterns that keep you stuck. Here's the hard truth. Debt isn't just a financial burden. It's an emotional one. It weighs on you. It keeps you awake at night. It limits your choices and your opportunities. When you owe money, a part of your future already belongs to someone else. Every payment you make is money you can't use to invest, to grow, or to build a legacy. You're working for the bank, not for yourself. And if that debt comes with high interest, like credit card balances, the problem multiplies quickly. It's like trying to fill a bucket that has a giant hole at the bottom. No matter how much water you pour in, it keeps leaking out. The first step to defeating debt is to face it head on. Many people avoid looking at their statements because it's painful. But ignoring debt doesn't make it disappear, it makes it grow. Sit down, write out every debt you owe, and be brutally honest about where you stand. This can be uncomfortable, but clarity is the first step to freedom. Once you know what you're dealing with, create a plan to attack the debt systematically. There are two popular strategies, the snowball method and the avalanche method. With the snowball method, you focus on paying off the smallest debt first, no matter the interest rate. Each time you clear one balance, you gain momentum and confidence, like a snowball rolling downhill. With the avalanche method, you target the debt with the highest interest rate first, saving you more money over time. Either method works. What matters is that you stay consistent and keep pushing forward. While you're paying down debt, you must also stop adding new debt. It's like trying to bail water out of a sinking boat while someone keeps drilling new holes in the bottom. Cut up credit cards if you have to. Delay major purchases. Say no to things that don't fit your budget. This isn't forever. It's a temporary sacrifice to create a permanent change. But here's something even deeper. Debt often isn't the real problem. It's just the symptom. The real issue is the habits and patterns that created the debt in the first place. Maybe it's emotional spending, buying things to feel better in the moment. Maybe it's lack of planning, spending blindly without tracking your money. Or maybe it's simply not having a financial education, so you repeat the same mistakes you saw growing up. If you don't address these underlying patterns, you'll end up back in debt even after paying it off. Start by identifying your triggers. What situations or feelings lead you to overspend? Is it stress, boredom, comparison to others? Once you know your triggers, you can replace those destructive responses with healthier ones. For example, instead of shopping when you're stressed, go for a walk, read a book, or focus on a hobby that doesn't cost money. Another powerful shift is to change how you see debt. Stop viewing it as normal. Many people treat debt like it's just part of life, but it's not. Debt is a trap designed to keep you working for others instead of building wealth for yourself. When you start seeing debt as the enemy of your freedom, it becomes much easier to make the hard choices required to escape it. As you clear your debt, redirect that same money into wealth-building activities. The funds you once used for credit card payments or loans can now be invested, saved, or used to create new income streams. This is how you move from surviving to thriving. Finally, teach your family about healthy financial habits. Share what you've learned, especially with your children, so they don't repeat the same cycle. Breaking free from debt isn't just about your own life. It's about changing the financial story of your entire family tree. Imagine this: a life with no monthly payments hanging over your head, where every dollar you earn belongs to you and your future. That's not just a dream, it's a choice. By eliminating debt and destroying bad financial patterns, you open the door to a life of freedom, opportunity, and lasting wealth. Debt may have been part of your past, but it doesn't have to define your future. Decide today that you will break the cycle. With focus, discipline, and a clear plan, you can tear down those chains and walk into a future where every step moves you closer to the legacy you were meant to build. Chapter 10. Build a network of wealth builders. No one builds lasting wealth entirely alone. While personal discipline and hard work are essential, the truth is wealth grows faster when you have the right people around you. Your network. The circle of people you spend the most time with has the power to either lift you higher or pull you down. If you want to create wealth that lasts for generations, you need to surround yourself with people who are also building, dreaming, and striving. Take a moment to think about the 5 people you interact with the most. What do they talk about? Do they complain about how unfair life is? Or do they discuss ideas, opportunities, and solutions? The conversations you're surrounded by shape the way you think. If you're constantly around negativity, fear, or small-minded thinking, it will eventually seep into your own mindset, no matter how strong you think you are. But when you surround yourself with driven, growth-focused individuals, their energy inspires you to think bigger and take bolder action. Wealthy people understand this principle deeply. That's why they are intentional about their relationships. They seek out mentors, business partners, advisors, and peers who challenge them to rise higher. They don't just network for the sake of collecting contacts. They build meaningful connections based on mutual growth and trust. This is the difference between simply knowing people and having a true wealth-building network. So, how do you start creating this kind of network? The first step is to add value before you ask for value. Too many people approach relationships with a "what can I get" mindset. Instead, focus on what you can give. Can you share knowledge? Introduce someone to a helpful resource? Or simply show genuine support for their goals? When you become a person who adds value, opportunities naturally come back to you. Next, be intentional about where you spend your time. You won't meet wealth builders by accident. If you're always in the same circles that keep you stuck, attend workshops, conferences, and events related to your goals. Join online communities or mastermind groups where ambitious people gather. Put yourself in environments where conversations about growth, business, and legacy are normal. It's also important to seek out mentors. A mentor can save you years of trial and error by sharing their experience and wisdom. Don't be afraid to reach out to someone you admire, but do so with respect and preparation. Show them you're serious by taking action on their advice. Remember, mentorship is a two-way relationship. Your progress is the greatest. Thank you. You can give a mentor. As you build your network, focus on quality over quantity. Having a 100 shallow connections won't help you nearly as much as 5 deep, genuine relationships. Trust takes time to build, but it's worth it. These are the people who will collaborate with you, invest in you, and stand by you through challenges. Another key aspect of a wealth-building network is diversity. Don't limit yourself to people who think exactly like you or work in the same field. Different perspectives create innovation. Someone from a completely different industry might offer an idea or connection that transforms your path. A well-rounded network gives you access to opportunities you would never discover on your own. Of course, building a powerful network also means letting go of toxic relationships. If certain people constantly drain your energy, discourage your dreams, or pressure you into poor financial habits, you must create distance. This doesn't mean you stop caring about them, but you can't afford to let their negativity sabotage your progress. Protect your vision by surrounding yourself with people who believe in it. Your network isn't just about business or money. It's about legacy. The people you connect with today will shape the opportunities available to future generations. Imagine your children growing up in a world where they have access to mentors, investors, and leaders because of the relationships you built. That's the power of a network that lasts. Finally, remember that building a network takes time. It's not about rushing or forcing connections. It's about consistently showing up, adding value, and staying true to your vision. Over the years, those relationships will grow stronger, and your circle will become a powerful support system for your wealth journey. Wealth is more than numbers in a bank account. It's the ideas you share, the opportunities you create, and the people you uplift along the way. When you build a network of wealth builders, you're not just investing in yourself. You're creating a ripple effect that can change countless lives, including those of generations to come. Chapter 11. Teach your family the wealth code. Building wealth is a powerful achievement, but if it ends with you, it's incomplete. True wealth isn't just about the numbers in your bank account. It's about passing on the knowledge, values, and systems that ensure your family can not only keep what you've built, but grow it for generations to come. Too many families make the mistake of focusing only on leaving money behind without preparing their loved ones to handle it. The result, that wealth disappears within a generation or two. You've probably heard the saying, shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. It describes a common pattern. One generation works hard to build wealth, the next enjoys it, and by the third it's gone. This happens because while money was passed down, the wisdom wasn't. The next generation wasn't taught the habits, mindset, and discipline required to preserve and multiply wealth. Your job isn't just to build wealth. It's to teach your family the wealth code, the timeless principles of money, mindset, and responsibility that will outlive you. This begins with simple conversations. Talk openly about money with your spouse, your children, and even extended family members when appropriate. Too many families treat money as a taboo subject, leaving their loved ones unprepared and confused. The more you normalize these discussions, the more comfortable and capable your family will become in handling wealth. Start by teaching the basics. Show your children how to budget, save, and invest. Let them see how you make decisions about money and explain the reasons behind those choices. If they only see the results like a nice home or vacations without understanding the process, they won't know how to replicate it. It's also important to teach them about delayed gratification. In today's instant gratification world, this lesson is more valuable than ever. Help them understand that real wealth comes from patience and consistency, not quick wins or flashy spending. Encourage them to set goals and work for them. Instead of expecting things to be handed to them beyond practical skills, focus on values. Money without strong values can be destructive. Teach your family about generosity, humility, and gratitude. Show them that wealth is a tool for creating freedom and impact, not just for showing off. When your children see you giving back to the community or helping someone in need, they'll learn that wealth carries responsibility. Another part of the wealth code is introducing them to your network. As you build relationships with mentors, advisors, and other wealth builders, involve your family when appropriate. The people you know can become a resource for them in the future. It's one thing to leave behind assets. It's another to leave behind a circle of connections who can guide and support the next generation. You should also create a family wealth plan. This includes legal tools like wills, trusts, and clear instructions for how assets should be managed and distributed. Don't leave these decisions up to chance or to government systems. Work with professionals to create a structure that protects your wealth and prevents conflict among your loved ones. Part of teaching the wealth code is removing uncertainty and confusion. And remember, teaching doesn't just happen through words. It happens through example. Your family will learn far more from watching how you live than from anything you say. If they see you practicing good financial habits, staying disciplined, and living according to your values, those lessons will sink in deeply. Sometimes the hardest part of this process is addressing unhealthy patterns that already exist. Maybe your family has a history of overspending, avoiding financial conversations, or relying on debt. Breaking those patterns can be challenging, but you have the power to rewrite your family's financial story. Be patient, but stay firm in your commitment to change. Imagine this years from now. Your children and grandchildren are only financially secure, but they also understand exactly how to grow and protect that wealth. They're confident, generous, and wise with money because you took the time to teach them. That is the ultimate legacy. Not just passing on what you built, but ensuring it continues to grow long after you're gone. Your wealth journey isn't just about you. It's about the generations that will follow. By teaching your family the wealth code, you're planting seeds that will bear fruit for decades, even centuries. You're giving them a gift far more valuable than money, the knowledge and character to create a life of freedom, purpose, and abundance. Chapter 12. Leave a legacy that matters. At some point in your wealth building journey, you'll realize something important. This isn't just about money. It's about the mark you leave on the world. True wealth isn't measured by how much you accumulate. It's measured by the impact you create and the lives you touch. A legacy is what remains long after you're gone. The values you stood for, the people you influenced, and the systems you built to keep making a difference. Many people work tirelessly to achieve financial success only to reach the end of their lives and feel a deep emptiness. They may have left behind a fortune, but they didn't leave behind meaning. Don't let that be your story. Building a legacy begins with asking yourself a simple but powerful question. What do I want to be remembered for? Your answer doesn't have to be grand or world-changing. It just has to be authentic. Maybe you want to be remembered as someone who lifted your family out of poverty and created opportunities for future generations. Maybe you want to be known for generosity, for helping those in need, or for creating a business that continues to serve people long after you're gone. Legacy is personal. It's about aligning your wealth with your deepest values. To leave a meaningful legacy, you must first get clear on your values. Money is simply a tool. If you don't know what matters most to you, that tool can easily be misused. Take time to reflect on the principles you want to guide your decisions. Integrity, generosity, courage, perseverance. These values will act as your compass as you make choices about how to grow, spend, and distribute your wealth. Next, consider how your wealth can extend beyond yourself. This might mean setting up a foundation, supporting causes you care about, or creating scholarships that open doors for others. Philanthropy isn't just for billionaires. Even small, consistent acts of giving can have a ripple effect that lasts for generations. When you use your wealth to make a positive difference, you turn money into something far greater: hope, opportunity, and transformation. Another powerful part of legacy building is mentorship. Passing down knowledge can be even more impactful than passing down money. Who are the people you can mentor, guide, or inspire? This could be your children, your employees, or even people in your community who just need someone to believe in them. Long after they forget the exact amount of money you gave, they will remember the wisdom and encouragement you shared. It's also important to plan practically for how your wealth will be managed after you're gone. Many families fall apart due to conflicts over inheritance. You can prevent this by creating clear, legally sound plans, wills, trusts, and instructions for how assets should be used. This isn't just about avoiding conflict. It's about ensuring that your wealth continues to serve the purpose you intended. Work with trusted advisors to set up systems that protect your vision and keep your legacy strong. Leaving a legacy doesn't mean you have to wait until the end of your life to start. You can begin living your legacy today. How you show up in your daily life, the way you treat people, the way you make decisions, the way you handle success and failure. All of this sends a powerful message. When your actions are aligned with your values, you inspire others to live differently, too. Your legacy also includes the culture you create within your family. Teach your children and grandchildren the importance of stewardship, gratitude, and purpose. Help them see that wealth is not just for personal comfort, but for making a positive impact. When your family shares this vision, your legacy multiplies because they will carry it forward and expand it in ways you could never imagine. Imagine years from now, someone whose life was changed because of a decision you made today. Maybe a child gets an education they couldn't have afforded, a family starts a business because of resources you provided, or a community thrives because you invested in it. These are the moments that matter. They're proof that your life wasn't just about building wealth, but about creating something lasting and meaningful. In the end, your legacy is the story others will tell about you. It's the proof that you lived with purpose, that you used your gifts and resources to make the world a better place. When you focus on leaving a legacy that matters, your wealth becomes more than numbers. It becomes a force for good, a bridge between generations, and a light that continues to shine long after you're gone. So build wisely, live intentionally, and give generously. Because one day the money will fade, but the legacy you leave behind that will last forever. Chapter 13. Stay wealthy by staying hungry. Reaching wealth is one thing. Staying wealthy is another. Many people work tirelessly to achieve financial success only to lose it all because they let comfort take over. They stop growing, stop learning, and slowly, without even noticing, they start sliding backward. If you want wealth that lasts for generations, you must remain hungry, not for food, but for growth, improvement, and purpose. Here's the truth. Comfort is the silent killer of wealth. When you've built a certain level of success, it's easy to relax and think, I've made it. You might slow down on the habits that got you here, reading, saving, investing, taking calculated risks. You might start spending more freely, ignoring your budget because you believe the money will always be there. Slowly, bad habits creep back in. The same hunger that once pushed you forward fades away. History is filled with stories of fortunes built and lost because someone got comfortable. Businesses fail because their owners stop innovating. Families lose wealth because the next generation assumes the money will never run out. Entire empires crumble when leaders grow complacent. The lesson is clear. Wealth is never permanent unless you stay active in protecting and growing it. Staying hungry doesn't mean living in fear or never enjoying what you've built. It means staying curious and committed. It's about waking up each day with a drive to improve, to make smarter decisions, to learn new skills, to keep your edge sharp. Hunger is what keeps you disciplined when the temptation to drift sets in. One of the best ways to stay hungry is to set new goals continually. Once you achieve a milestone, don't stop there. Create a bigger vision that excites you. If your goal was to pay off debt, set a new goal to build an investment portfolio. If you've secured your own financial freedom, set a goal to create opportunities for others. Growth stops when your vision stops expanding. Another key is to keep learning. The world is constantly changing. New technologies, new markets, new opportunities, and new risks. What worked 5 years ago might not work today. The wealthiest people never stop being students. They read books, attend seminars, listen to mentors, and stay informed. Knowledge is like armor. The more you have, the better you can protect and grow what you've built. Surround yourself with people who challenge you. If everyone in your circle admires your success without pushing you to grow, you'll stagnate. Seek out those who are doing more, thinking bigger, and operating at higher levels. Their energy and perspective will keep you motivated to keep striving. Staying hungry also requires humility. Wealth can make people arrogant. They start to believe they know everything or that they're untouchable. That arrogance leads to reckless decisions and blind spots. Stay humble enough to admit when you don't know something. Stay open to advice and willing to adapt. Humility is a shield that protects you from making ego-driven mistakes. Be cautious with lifestyle creep, the gradual increase in spending as your income rises. It's natural to upgrade your life when you earn more. But without boundaries, this habit can destroy your wealth. Set clear limits on what you spend and why. Remember, true freedom comes from having choices, not from owning endless possessions. Lastly, remind yourself regularly of why you started. Reflect on the struggles you overcame and the vision you have for your family and future generations. When you reconnect with your why, it reignites the hunger inside you. It reminds you that wealth isn't just about you. It's about the legacy you're building. Staying wealthy isn't about hoarding money or living in constant fear of losing it. It's about staying engaged, alert, and intentional. It's about balancing gratitude for what you have with a hunger to keep growing. When you live this way, you don't just hold on to wealth. You expand it, improve it, and pass it on stronger than before. Remember, wealth is a journey, not a destination. The moment you think you've arrived, you begin to decline. But when you stay hungry, you remain a creator, a builder, and a leader for generations to come. That hunger will keep your wealth alive and keep your legacy thriving. Chapter 14. Build systems, not stress. Wealth should bring peace, not chaos. Yet for many people, as their money grows, so does their stress. They find themselves constantly worrying about bills, investments, taxes, and the countless moving pieces of their financial life. Instead of enjoying freedom, they become prisoners of the very wealth they worked so hard to build. The solution isn't to work harder or think faster. It's to build systems that keep your wealth organized, protected, and growing, even when you're not paying attention every second of the day. A system is simply a process that runs smoothly without constant effort. Think of it like an engine. When it's built correctly, it hums along efficiently with very little intervention required. Wealth works the same way. When you create systems for how your money flows in, how it's managed, and how it grows, you free yourself from the daily grind of constantly making decisions. The truth is, stress doesn't come from having money or even from not having enough. It comes from uncertainty. When you don't know where your money is going or you don't have a plan for the future, your mind is always in a state of worry. Systems eliminate that uncertainty by creating clarity. You know exactly what's happening, where everything is, and what steps are next. That clarity brings calm. The first system you need is a budget that works automatically. Most people hear the word budget and think of restriction, but a budget is actually freedom. It gives every dollar a purpose. With today's technology, you can automate most of this process. Have a portion of your income automatically sent to savings, investments, and essential expenses the moment it arrives in your account. When you set it up once, you no longer have to think about it every week. The next system is debt management. If you still have debt, create a plan that automatically pays it down. Set recurring payments on a schedule so that progress happens even while you're busy living your life. This removes the stress of manually tracking bills and helps you build momentum toward freedom. Once debt is under control, focus on investment systems. The wealthiest people don't rely on random decisions or emotional choices when it comes to investing. They have clear rules-based strategies. For example, you might decide to invest a certain percentage of your income into a diversified portfolio every month, no matter what the market is doing. Over time, this system allows you to benefit from compounding without the anxiety of trying to time the market. Another essential system is recording and tracking. You need a simple way to see your entire financial picture at a glance. This could be a spreadsheet, an app, or working with a trusted financial advisor. The point isn't complexity, it's consistency. Chapter 15. The Blueprint in Action. You've now gathered the pieces of a powerful blueprint. A plan to create wealth that doesn't just serve you today, but lasts for generations. But here's the truth. Knowledge without action changes nothing. You can read every book, listen to every audiobook, and gather all the strategies in the world, but if you don't put them into practice, your life stays the same. The final step is to take everything you've learned and start building step by step, day by day. Wealth creation is not a one-time event. It's a journey, a series of choices that compound over time. Think of it like constructing a building. You wouldn't just stack bricks randomly and hope it turns into a mansion. You'd follow a plan, laying one solid brick at a time. Your wealth works the same way. Every habit you form, every dollar you save, every skill you develop, these are the bricks that will eventually form the strong, unshakable structure of your financial legacy. The first action you must take is to get clear on your vision. Go back to Chapter 2 and define what wealth truly means to you. Write it down in detail. Where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years? What kind of life do you want to create for yourself and your family? This vision will serve as your compass, guiding every decision you make. Without it, you'll wander aimlessly, working hard but never really moving forward. Next, start implementing habits that naturally attract wealth. Remember Chapter 3. Small, consistent actions matter more than bursts of effort. Automate your savings. Track your spending. Read daily to grow your knowledge, and surround yourself with people who support your goals. These habits will become the engine that drives your wealth forward even on days when you feel tired or unmotivated. Then begin simplifying and organizing your finances. Create systems that reduce stress and give you clarity, as we discussed in Chapter 14. Automate bill payments. Set up automatic investments and keep your account simple. The less clutter you have, the more energy you can focus on growth. Chaos is the enemy of progress. Once you have a stable foundation, take bold steps toward growth. This might mean starting a side business, investing in real estate, or finally turning one of your skills into a source of income. Don't wait for the perfect time. There will always be risks, but calculated risks are how wealth is built. As you grow, remember the lessons about diversification and protection from earlier chapters. Every step you take should balance growth with safety. As your wealth expands, involve your family in the journey. Talk openly about money. Teach them the wealth code you've learned. Show them that money is a tool for freedom and impact, not just a source of consumption. When your family understands the why behind your actions, they'll carry those lessons forward, ensuring your legacy continues long after you're gone. But perhaps the most important action you can take is to stay consistent. There will be days when progress feels slow. There will be setbacks, market downturns, unexpected expenses, and moments of doubt. This is normal. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail isn't intelligence or luck. It's persistence. The ones who keep showing up, even when it's hard, are the ones who build something extraordinary. Consistency is what turns knowledge into transformation. Think of the many people who start strong at the beginning of the year but quit by March. They had the same dreams, the same goals, maybe even more resources than you, but they lack persistence. Don't let that be you. Commit to the long game. Finally, keep revisiting this blueprint regularly. Your goals will evolve as your life changes. What you wanted 5 years ago may not be what you want today. Review, refine, and adjust. A great builder doesn't just follow the blueprint once and walk away. They keep improving the structure as it grows. You now have everything you need to create lasting wealth, not just for yourself, but for your children, your grandchildren, and generations you'll never meet. Imagine a future where your family doesn't just inherit money, but also the wisdom and systems to keep growing it. That future starts with the actions you take today. So don't wait. Take one step right now, however small it may seem. Open that savings account. Make that phone call. Write down your vision. Momentum builds from the smallest actions. Before you know it, you'll look back and realize you've built not just wealth, but a life of purpose, freedom, and legacy. The blueprint is in your hands. Now it's time to build. Conclusion. We've reached the end of this journey, but in many ways, this is just the beginning for you. You've discovered the principles, strategies, and mindsets needed to create wealth that doesn't just serve you in the present, but ripples outward to touch the lives of your children, grandchildren, and generations yet to come. The blueprint is here. The next step is yours to take. Wealth is not only about numbers in a bank account. It's about freedom. The freedom to live life on your terms, to make choices without fear, and to focus on what truly matters. It's about security, knowing that no matter what happens in the world, your family is protected. And most importantly, it's about impact, using your resources to create opportunities, lift others, and leave the world better than you found it. In this audiobook, we've explored how to shift from scarcity to abundance, define what wealth truly means to you, and build habits that naturally attract success. We've looked at the importance of mastering the game of money, creating multiple income streams, and investing wisely for the long term. You've learned how to protect your wealth, eliminate destructive patterns like debt, and build a powerful network of people who inspire and challenge you. And we've gone beyond the numbers to talk about teaching your family the wealth code, creating systems that reduce stress, and staying hungry so your success never fades. But remember this, knowledge is only power when it's applied. You now hold the tools to build lasting wealth, but they mean nothing unless you put them into action. Start small if you need to. Take one step today. Open an investment account. Write down your vision. Have that honest conversation about money with your family. These small actions may feel simple, but they will compound over time, just like wealth itself. As you move forward, there will be challenges. There will be setbacks and moments of doubt. That's natural. Don't let them stop you. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail isn't luck. It's persistence. Keep showing up. Keep making decisions that align with your vision. Keep reminding yourself why you started this journey. And when you look back years from now, you won't just see the wealth you've built. You'll see a legacy, a ripple effect of courage, discipline, and purpose that began with you. Your family will thrive because of the foundation you laid. Your name will carry meaning, not because of what you owned, but because of what you created and the lives you changed. This is the power of generational wealth. It's not about greed or status. It's about responsibility. It's about becoming the person who breaks cycles, who lifts others, and who sets in motion a future filled with possibility. So, take a deep breath. Feel the weight of this moment. You are standing at the beginning of something extraordinary. The blueprint is clear. The path is laid out. All that's left is for you to walk it one step at a time with courage, vision, and unwavering determination. Go out there and build the life you've dreamed of. Build wealth, yes, but more importantly, build a legacy. Because when your time here is done, it won't be the size of your bank account that matters. It will be the impact you made, the lives you touched, and the generations you empowered. Your wealth is your gift to the world. Your legacy is the story they will tell. Now go write a story worth remembering. If this audiobook helped you, do one thing right now. Like the video, share it with someone who needs it, comment your biggest takeaway, and subscribe to Read Great Minds. Your next chapter in life starts with one decision, one step, one action.